Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat 4-team trade pitch flips Jimmy Butler for former number 1 pick, rising star. Jimmy Butler's long-term future with the Miami Heat came into focus this past summer after he did not get an extension. Butler can become a free agent after this season if he opts out of his $52.4 million player option for next season, meaning he can leave the Heat without anything in return. Bleacher Report's salary cap expert Eric Pincus proposed a massive 4-team trade proposal that can save the Heat from this potential mess while building around Bam Adebayo as the franchise's cornerstone. Miami Heat receive Andrew Wiggins from Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga from Warriors, and $14.9 million trade exception. Butler. Golden State Warriors receive Jimmy Butler from Heat and Anton Watson from Celtics. Detroit Pistons receive Kevin Looney from Warriors, Gary Payton II from Warriors, Atlanta Hawks 2026 second-rounder from Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers 2026 second-rounder from Heat, Atlanta Hawks 2028 second-rounder from Warriors, $2.5 million from Warriors, and $1.5 million from Heat. Boston Celtics receive $1.1 million from the Heat. Pincus noted that Butler needs to waive his trade kicker worth slightly over $400,000 for this complex 4-team trade to work under the new collective bargaining agreement. Heat president Pat Riley admonished Butler during his exit interview in May for talking trash while he was injured and his notoriety for lying low during the regular season and switching to playoff Jimmy mode in the postseason. The Heat star has never played more than 64 games since moving to Miami in 2019. This trade proposal from Pincus will not only help the Heat financially but also bolster their wing depth. If a deal can be done before the regular season, Miami can lock in Kuminga to a long-term extension or wait until he's a restricted free agent in July. Either way, the Heat would have the means to retain Kuminga long-term while adding a solid veteran in Wiggins for 3 total years. He can opt out of $30.2 million before the 2026-27 season, Pincus wrote. The Heat can also flip Wiggins at some point once he recovers his trade value. Pincus also added the Heat would avoid paying $25.9 million for a 14-man roster if they pull off such a trade before the season tips off. Additionally, teams that pay the tax don't receive the kickback share, projected to range from $15 to $19 million this season. That's why sending $1.1 million to Boston makes sense for the Heat, as they'd have a net saving in the $55 million range by ducking the tax entirely, Pincus wrote. While Wiggins is the former number 1 pick coming back to the Heat in this trade pitch, it is Kuminga who is the real prize. Kuminga has just started to scratch his potential with a mini breakout in the second half of last season. At 22, he is 13 years younger than Butler. Kuminga fits the Heat timeline with their young core of Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Nikola Jovic. The Warriors' young forward averaged 17.2 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 2.8 assists in 46 games as a starter last season. His shooting has improved. Through 5 preseason games, Kuminga is shooting 52.3% from the field and 47.6% on 4.2 three-point attempts. The Warriors are in the same boat as the Heat in terms of offering a contract extension for players who have to prove themselves. The Warriors wanted to see more of Kuminga flourishing this season, and prove last season was not just a fluke, before giving him an extension. They aren't currently prepared to give Kuminga a max extension or anything that stretches too close to that $44.8 million annual salary, per The Athletic's Anthony Slater. This gives an opening to a team such as the Heat to come in and trade for Kuminga. Pat Riley sends blunt message to Miami Heat trio of Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Herro. With not many additions made to the team this offseason, can the Miami Heat meet the expectations of the fans in 2024-25? the organization seem quite confident about their roster and have decided to run it back. Despite seeing the likes of Caleb Martin, DeLon Wright, and Patty Mills leave over the summer, the Heat were pretty inactive this summer. They were linked with DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young, Brandon Ingram and more, but nothing materialized. Alec Burks was their only notable addition. Following the loss to the Boston Celtics in the first round of the playoffs last season, the pressure is on the Heat to improve. However, the organization appeared to be confident in the team's capabilities to take on the challenge. Similar thoughts have been shared by Pat Riley. According to Anthony Chang in the Miami Herald, the Heat president said, "I wasn't comfortable in just saying, okay, I'm going to give up on this team this year because we're a play-in team. If you get in, and then you go from there. 2 years ago was an anomaly and we ended up in the finals. I'll take the anomaly any day. But we do have a very good team." But at the same time, there was a recognition that the likes of Jimmy Butler, Tyler Herro, and Bam Adebayo need to be better. Riley stated, "Bam, Jimmy and Tyler, to some extent maybe Terry, Rozier, have to be better. It's always about, can you produce more, can you be more, can you be together more? I've seen the improvement. So I think we have a core of really, really great players who need to find another level of greatness. This is their time. So take the challenge." It's a fact that big players like Adebayo, Butler, and Herro have proven their worth to the Heat over the years, but they need to take another step forward if the franchise are to be in contention this season. Adebayo averaged 19.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 3.9 assists in 71 games last season, while Butler averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists in 60 games. Once again, Herro did not make the leap that has been expected of him for the past 2 years, as he averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.5 assists while playing in only 42 games. The team has already shown promising signs in their preseason matches against the Memphis Grizzlies, San Antonio Spurs, Atlanta Hawks, and New Orleans Pelicans, with their only loss coming against the Charlotte Hornets. They finished with a 4-1 record. Even more promisingly, those three have shown positive signs. Butler looks all business despite not being handed an extension over the summer. On the other hand, it seems like Adebayo is set to add more three-point shooting to his game this season. Finally, Herro has seemed much better on the defensive end of the court and might finally be about to make that leap to all-star level. Report: Jimmy Butler won't sign extension with Heat, will become free agent in 2025. According to NBA reporter Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald, Jimmy Butler is not expected to sign an extension with the Miami Heat. One of the top players in the NBA, Butler plans to become a free agent in 2025. The expectation at this point is that Butler will pass on the extension even if the Heat offers it, according to sources, and then opt out of his current contract to become a free agent next summer, Chang wrote. Butler will make $48.8 million this season. The small forward has a player option worth $52.4 million for the 2025-26 season, and it looks like he will decline it. He's going to have the ability to opt, and we're going to have the ability to extend, Heat President Pat Riley said last week to a small group of reporters when asked about Butler's contract status. "So I'm trying to get all that thinking out of our heads, because it's living in the present moment and playing basketball. So if there's something that's going to drag me down or him down because of that, then we're not going to perform at a certain level. But I think he's embraced exactly where he's at. I think he understands where we're at." And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.